What is up, internet land? This is Cameron Teeth from Teeth and Polishek, and I'm just going to be going over a quick slideshow here with you. I'm just pretty much going to go over how sales is strictly a numbers game, how this can benefit you in your day-to-day sales if you are directly dealing in sales, or I'm going to try to convince you that if you are an entrepreneur, even if you don't think you are in sales, I'm going to try to convince you that, yeah, you are in sales if you are an entrepreneur. And again, this is Cameron Teese, and just in case you're interested, I guess there's a cute little picture of me. And here we go, moving on. All right, so I'm going to start off here with the know your numbers. So what do I mean by know your numbers? What are your units of measurement? So I'm going to be basing this off of my experience, what I know best, which is going to be commercial real estate, which I specialize in selling apartment complexes. So my units of measurement are going to be calls, contacts, first proposals, listings, and then get into money. So what do I mean by units of measurement? You should be, when you are doing your sales, you need to be taking note of every call, every contact, and then this is kind of where you're going to have to put your own spin on things for whatever you personally do for sales. So first proposals, listings, etc. So you need to be measuring every single one of pretty much each step in the sales process. This is just going to be completely standard. In order for you to grow, in order for you to get better, you need to be having a call log, which has notes, which tells how long you called, how many calls you had, how many contacts you had, how many first you had, and again, etc. That's going to be specific to your needs, specifically to your niche in your sales. So say, for example, if you are a social media agency, you're going to be having calls, contacts, first, whether that's going to be whether you set up a meeting with a new client, and then that's going to go from first to client or whatever that may be. Say if you're a personal trainer, that's going to be calls, contacts, first meetings, and then again setting up your first official personal training session. Again, this is going to be very specific to your genre of sales, whatever it is you are trying to sell. So again, you're going to need to know your averages. So know the average calls it takes in order to make a contact. Know the average amount of contacts it takes in order to get a first. Know how many firsts it takes in order to get a proposal, and etc., etc., etc. So you just need to be able to know your averages per chain reaction. So the idea of knowing your averages is you'll always be able to push yourself in order to get better. If it's taking you 100 calls every time to make one contact, then you need to either be A, making more calls, or B, getting better at your calls, making your calls more efficient, or if it's simply not working, find other means of getting in front of your clients, your consumers, whoever is going to be taking your need exactly, for whoever you're trying to sell to exactly. Pretty much. For example, I had a proposal today, and to be honest, I don't know if he's going to list. I proposed to. This is an owner in East LA. He owns 2 apartment complexes, and I proposed selling both of his complexes in order to do a 1031 exchange in order to move into a better building. And I don't know exactly if he is going to sell. He was an older owner, and again, some of these older owners are very hesitant, very conservative when it comes to doing these big changes later in life. So again, just because I got a proposal, if I were to know my average, say example, I average 3 proposals per listing, all that means is I'm just that much closer to getting a listing if this owner decides not to list. So again, I just need to look at the bright side as far as, yeah, this owner may not list, but yet again, I am closer to getting that listing. So in order for me to know my averages, I will be able to gauge my progress and how much better I am getting throughout my sales program here. Again, you're going to need to take notes. So when you know your numbers, you are taking your measurements, you need to be taking notes on every single one of your sales step in the sales cycle. So you need to be taking notes on every contact you make, what made you get that contact, What did you say to that person on the phone in order to keep them on the phone? What was it exactly that caught their attention? What exactly in that proposal did you say that got them to follow through? And again, if you are in the sales business, which you are going to have recurring contacts with your clients, you need to be able to take notes on your individual clients as far as what kind of job do they do? Why did they get into their means of profession? What are their interests? So you can relate to them. You can get them talking, and it's going to be able to help you sell them when you know them on a more personal level. This one is very, very important. What is their rebuttal? So if you said something or they pretty much said no to you, whatever you were trying to sell, why did they say no? And I have a little note here. There is a fixed number of these, meaning there's a fixed number of rebuttals. Meaning if you were to write down every rebuttal you have to just say, for example, say if you're a personal trainer and you were trying to sell personal training sessions, what is going to be the rebuttal to not wanting to work out or personal training with you? If you write down every single rebuttal and you train and you prepare for every single one of those rebuttals, you will eventually be prepared for every single reason someone would not want to train with you. You are going to have a good refute, and pretty much again you're going to up your salesmanship in knowing your rebuttals. So for, again, my own personal example, I have about 5 in commercial real estate of why someone would not want to list their building. Know your fixed number of rebuttals in order to be best prepared to optimize your salesmanship qualities. Because again, there's going to be a fixed number of rebuttals. The quicker you are able to identify all of these rebuttals, you'll be able to practice, and be prepared for every single rebuttal, in which case you'd be able to have a better rebuttal to the rebuttal, therefore upping your salesmanship game. Know your goals. Why do you need to know your goals? Is once you know your goals, you can therefore know how hard you need to push yourself. So once you know your numbers, you know your averages, you've taken good notes, you now have the power to map how long it should take in order to successfully complete your goals. Again, so if you're saving up to buy a house, if you're saving up to buy a nice car, if you're saving up for a nice vacation, and you're in the sales game, this is going to be numbers. Numbers. It's all numbers. The sooner you know your numbers, the sooner you'll be able to map and plan out. And you need to keep yourself accountable. So if you know your average for calling to go from a calling to a contact to a first to a proposal, you know it takes only 15 calls to make one contact, it takes 5 contacts to get one proposal, and it takes 3 proposals to get one listing, or whatever your salesman cycle is, then you need to hold yourself to that standard and therefore push yourself. If you have already gotten your average, I guarantee you your average is always going to be your average. Yeah, you're going to have your slumps, your off days, but that's going to be something off with you. There's not something off with the people. Don't blame other people for not being able to hit your goals, hit your averages. Your averages are going to be according to how hard you push yourself. And when you know your goals, you will be able to push yourself. So when you have already accurately measured your averages, there should be zero reason why you are not hitting your goals. Keep yourself accountable. This is not going to be the client's fault. This is not going to be the consumer's fault. Oh, it was a slump. Oh, it was a bad day. No, you had a bad day. There was something off with you. There was something off with your approach. There was something off with your voice inflections. There was something off with your approach. Do not blame the consumer for your inability to perform according to your personal averages. So what industry is this going to apply to? I have here all of them. Yeah, don't beat me up in the comments. Again, it's a joke, all of them. But essentially, this is going to apply to so many industries. So again, this is real estate, personal training, any service job. Again, I mentioned something very popular going on right now is social media agencies. If you are going to have a client, this numbers, salesman tactic, ability, whatever in the world you want to call this salesmanship cycle, this is going to apply to you. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. this numbers game is always going to be a numbers game. If you sell any kind of product, you might think, how in the world does this apply to me? Well, take, for example, if you're a gym supplement or if you're a health supplement company, you're trying to get into trade shows, you're trying to get in front of box stores, brick and mortar stores, whatever in the world you're trying to get in front of. Again, you're going to be making calls in order to get in front of these people. You are going to be needing to take your notes, and again, you are going to have to go through this same process in order to know your numbers, in order to push yourself, in order to create your goals. You can do this. This is not some voodoo weird stuff. This is the game. Numbers is the game. The sooner you know that business is a bunch of numbers game, the sooner you will be able to understand yourself, understand how hard you need to be pushing yourself, and understand that the problem is going to be with you, not the numbers if you are not performing. So again, if you own a food truck, if you need to be going to food truck events, you're going to be making phone calls, contacts. Again, know these numbers in order to get to your goals. One last part I will map on here. I might make a whole nother video according to this, but this same exact numbers idea really does revolve around marketing as well. I just wanted to touch on it very quickly. I probably will end up making a whole nother video about this, but this is going to be, again, the entire social media game. Also, if you're running social media ads, you're going to know your numbers, you're going to know your analytics, you're going to know your averages for how long it takes in order to get a sale. You're going to know your customer acquisition costs. You're going to know your average page likes. So once you know all these averages, it's the same idea. You dump in the amount of money it takes in order to hit your goal, how much money you're trying to get out. Again, this is going to be the same thing in sales. So in sales, if it takes 100 phone calls in order to go through that cycle, so 100 phone calls to get 5 contacts, takes 5 contacts to get one first, and then it takes 3 first to get a proposal, takes 4 proposals in order to get a listing, takes 2 listings in order to get a sale. It's numbers. Numbers. Record everything. Take notes on everything. Know your goals. Push yourself. If you're not hitting your averages, it's your fault. It's not the numbers' fault. It's the averages. Averages, numbers, sales, business. Yes. Tyson Polishek. If you like these kind of short, quick videos in your face, this is what we like to do. This is what we're about. So subscribe, follow, whatever it may be. Check out our premium. It's absolutely free. We offer free premium video content to all of our subscribers. It's popping. It's going down over there. So if you like it, like us up. If not, comment. Let us know what we can do better. Thanks. Appreciate it.